Hi, my name is Jen, and today I want to share rules numbers 3 and 4 out of my 12 rules to live a better life. Rule number 3 is get to know yourself, and it really builds off of rule number 2, which is to be honest. And the goal is to really try and become aware of the good, the great, the positive things about yourself, the neutral things, and the kind of bad and ugly things about yourself. In counseling, we talk about our strengths and our areas of improvement. And I really think that this rule is important because I believe in the inherent value of each person. And I think that this rule really helps us to identify and focus on ourselves so that we can enhance and highlight our strengths, while also identifying and working on our areas of improvement. And I think that this is good for us as individuals, but I think that this also helps society as a whole. So, some ways to get to know yourself. Journal. I like journaling in kind of a more traditional blank journal where you can kind of write about anything, but I also like journals that have prompts and kind of guides and exercises and other things for you to kind of fill in and that are kind of a little bit more themed. I think those are great resources to help out. You can find those online or at Barnes & Noble. I know they carry a lot of those. So journaling is great. Taking a psych class. I absolutely love all of my psych classes. They were just so helpful, and I loved just learning about different things, and the different exercises and homework assignments were just very challenging, and I really appreciated that. You can take some psychology classes as an elective or as just something fun to do, or do some evening classes or something like that. Or you can go into the field. I definitely recommend that as well. Another option, if you don't have as much money or free time, you can look up some psychology classes online. I think there are a couple of free options, and YouTube may even have some other like TED Talks that are focused more on psychology. I think those are very helpful as well. Kind of similar to that, I think taking personality quizzes and assessments. That's just a really, really great way to learn more about yourself. So the personality quizzes, I think those are really fun. BuzzFeed does a lot of those. You can also find lots of other free versions. I think that really helps to identify kind of some of the more technical things about yourself. And then the assessments are really great. If you have an opportunity to work with a professional and do an assessment with a professional, I think that's just such an invaluable experience. You kind of not only get to learn all about yourself from the test and stuff, but you really get to talk to a professional and ask them questions and get their feedback, which I think is really helpful. Another thing you can do is fill out a value assessment. I think there's a couple of free options available online. I think this is just really helpful to really sit down and think and kind of assess what your values are, because values really shape how we think and kind of what we believe and how we interact in the world. So I think that's a really great place to start, or something really great to do. Another thing I like to do is read books about self-improvement, awareness, and mindfulness. I think that these types of books and topics are really helpful because they can provide you with exercises and more explanation and kind of an in-depth focus on these topics. Another thing you can do is join a discussion group or a book club. I think that this is really helpful. For me, I found that I really learned a lot about myself and about lots of different topics that I may not have really explored if I was not a part of the group or the book club. So when you go to these discussion groups or book clubs, you meet lots of different people, you are exposed to a lot of different other viewpoints and ideas and perspectives and experiences, and I think that that is really, really valuable and helpful. But it also gives you a chance to focus on some of these topics that you maybe wouldn't on your own, especially in some book clubs and stuff. Some themes and other topics may come up that you wouldn't normally face, and so that's a great way to learn some more about yourself. I think it's also great to ask friends and family. Friends and family really, they can really know you well, and they love you, and so it's a great place to start. They can share, usually they're more than willing to share all of the wonderful things about you, and they are more likely to share in a loving way the things that you can improve upon. And so that's a great way to start. It gives you just a little bit more of an outside perspective, and that's always helpful. And finally, you can go to counseling. I really like this option. I've been to counseling a couple of times in my life, and I have just grown and benefited so much from each experience. And so if you do get the opportunity, I definitely do recommend this. It's just so great to be able to talk to somebody and get an outside perspective. Friends and family are great for sure, but sometimes their opinion isn't always as objective as a total outsider. And so a counselor can really just be that kind of objective outside perspective, and they can just share some more insights. And just the therapeutic relationship itself can be really helpful. Sometimes I make a bigger deal out of things than I maybe should, or I just kind of get caught up in myself, and it's really helpful to have someone else just kind of help me clear up my mind and just kind of put things into a proper perspective. So if you do get the opportunity, I definitely do recommend counseling. Also, as with the other rules, there is a hierarchy. I did create this rule and put it in this place for a reason. This is not meant to justify or condone bad or inappropriate behavior. While you do want to learn about yourself, you're also trying to improve yourself. All right, and my rule number 4 is to prioritize self-care. I really think this is important because when you are able to take care of yourself, that's good for you and it's good for society. When you are taken care of and when you are kind of healthy and the best that you can be, you can then have more to offer everyone else. And so I really think that this is important. In my experience growing up, I came in contact with a lot of women who are very caring and compassionate, and they were always doing stuff for other people. And while that can be great and noble, I didn't always see them taking care of themselves and valuing themselves as much. And that is kind of sad. But it also can just be very hard to do. And so I think it's really worth the effort to put some time in to make sure that your needs are also being met. I think that following the golden rule is great. It's my number 1 rule. I think that helping others is great, but I don't think we have to do those things at the expense of our own health. All right, so I wrote down a few ideas or common self-care kind of practices. I will state just briefly that I think it's really important to make sure that you're taking care of your basic kind of foundational needs first. So that includes making sure you're getting enough food each day, making sure you're getting proper nutrients, you're drinking enough fluids, you are getting a good night's rest, you have proper hygiene, and you're getting some type of exercise. If you would like more information about how to exactly make sure that your needs are being met, like how many hours of sleep you need, or what types of food you really need to be having, or how much exercise you should be getting, I'll have some links down below. So So when I think of self-care, I do think of the basic needs, but I also think of kind of more of the kind of fun things. So when I think of self-care, I think of really treating myself and really making sure that my needs are being met and that I'm checking in with myself and really making sure that I'm doing okay. There's a couple of areas that I really focus on when I think of self-care, and those include, just to name a few, beauty, fashion, physical, mental, emotional, and social. And so for beauty, I will occasionally do like a facial or a hair appointment, a nail appointment, makeover. Some people like to take bubble baths. For fashion, I really enjoy decluttering. That can really help me to just stop and think and also accomplish something, but I find that really relaxing and kind of fun. Shopping is also another great thing. I just try not to do this one too much. For physical, I really enjoy walking. Some people enjoy jogging a little bit more, so if you prefer that, you can do that as well. A hike is really therapeutic sometimes, or a bike ride, sightseeing is really fun. And then yoga is also something that I really like to do. For mental and emotional, you can journal, look through cards. I know this really helped me a couple of times when I was growing up and not feeling so good about myself. I could just look through cards and see the love and support of my friends and family around me, and that was really helpful. You could read, you could do a puzzle, watch a favorite movie, you could do meditation, an art or craft, or adult coloring. These are just really great ways to just slow down and just relax a little bit, and I really appreciate whenever I get a chance to do these. And then for social things usually revolve around either food or some type of sporting activity. So you could go out to eat with friends or out to get a drink or something with friends. You could also go play frisbee or volleyball, or if you live by a beach, you could go to the beach or go for a hike with friends or whatever it is. But I think it's also really important to pay attention to your social needs as well. So I will also have a link down below to a self-care assessment. It's free online, and so you can just go and just kind of fill out and see what areas you may need to focus a little bit more on if you're interested in this. Alright, don't forget to check the description box for the links that I mentioned down below if you would like to learn any more about any of these topics, or if you would like to have some additional resources. So I will have the next video in this series, rules and numbers 5 and 6, up next week, so please come back and check it out then, and subscribe if you would like to see more. I hope you have a great day. Bye!